Hey everyone, and welcome back. This video is part of a series to introduce my basescatter tool that you can download on Fab or my Gumroad page. Links are in the description below. You can use the basescatter tools for making your environments in Unreal Engine. And in this video, we are going to talk about the SurfaceScatter. I'll show you how to set it up and how to use it in your scenes. So if you're ready to speed up your environment workflow, grab yourself a slice of pizza and let's jump straight into Unreal Engine. Let's dive in. You can get this tool from Fab or from my Gumroad page. Download it or add it to your own project. And before we start, we have to enable some plugins in the engine to get it to work. I made a demo level with a text board to show you which plugin you need for these tools. So go to plugins and type in PCG and enable the standard PCG and the geometry script interop. You see that I have my plugins already enabled, but if you enabled them for the first time, then you have to restart the engine. And after the restart, we can use the SurfaceScatter. So first we are opening a new level to work in. You can create a new level. I have mine level already set. When opening the level, we can start with making a landscape and a lighting setup. I have the ultra dynamic sky in my level, but you can also use the default lighting of Unreal as well. Let's go to the basescatter folder in your content browser and search for the SurfaceScatter blueprint. Drag that into your level. First thing we noticed is that we don't see anything. That is because we need a surface to scatter on. So we can take a static mesh. I'm using the plane for now and drag this into the level. I'm making it bigger to see what we are doing. I'm placing the blueprint next to the plane. We don't need it. It only have to be present in the level to use the surfaces to scatter on. If we go to the details panel of the SurfaceScatter, you can find on top the target mesh. You can click on the plus icon to create a surface to choose. Select the picker and go to the leveler pick our plane by clicking on the plane. Right away you see that the plane is filled with cones. If you go to the mesh covering, you can open the data layer. You can see that by default there is a cone in the slot. You can change it by dragging a cylinder in the slot, and it will change automatically on the plane we have picked to scatter on. Let's try a sphere and insert a new mesh and drag a cylinder in the slot. You can use multiple objects on your surface just like all the other scatter tools. I'm closing the data layer for now. You can change the position of the plane or any surface that you have picked. You can rotate it and it will stick to the surface, even when rotating it in the Z-axis. I'm zeroing out the plane and open the data layer again. Let me find some grass to fill our data. And drag that into the slot. Close the data layer, it looks like nothing happened. Let's zoom in a little to see it more close. Yes, we have the grass on the plane, but it's tiny and just a small amount. Let's go to our details panel and create some more grass. I'm scaling the grass and change the distance between the grass and make it more dense. So that's looking much better now. I can make it much more dense. And you can change the seed and the rotation of the grass. If we go down a little in our settings, you can also make open places into the surface. Use the sliders to see what this does with the objects on your surface. Let's create another grass mesh to make it more random. This looking nice already. When you use the surface, you can make it invisible by selecting the plane and disable the visibility of the plane. Now you can only see the grass without having the plane visible. And you can still change the position and rotation. Okay, let's go back and make the plane visible again and drag another mesh in. I'm choosing again for a plane, make it a bit bigger and place it a bit higher. I'm going back to the settings of my blueprint and select another target mesh. By clicking on the plus icon, you see that the objects disappear. When you pick the other surface, the objects will appear again on both surfaces, and also with the same settings. Let's drag another mesh into the level and create another target mesh in your settings. And pick the new mesh. You can see that this will scatter as well, so you can create multiple meshes to scatter on with the same settings. I'm deleting the cube and planes and start empty again. I'm dragging a cube into the level and pick this cube as target mesh. I'm going to change the settings for the cube because it's too much grass, and make some random spots on the surface of this cube. When I change the fall off amount, you can make the objects appear only on the top or on the bottom. This depends on the mesh or surface you are using. So if I drag in a sphere, you can see this much better. I'm making the sphere bigger and create a new target mesh to pick the sphere. You can see when I use the fall off amount, I have more control on where to place the objects on the sphere. So play with the settings to see what it does. And for this last feature, I'm removing everything in the level and start with a new mesh. Let's drag a Megascans asset into the level I've downloaded from Fab, scale it up and select this as the target mesh. You can see that this will work as a surface, so you can try different meshes to work with. Try it out and see what you can create with this tool. I've used this tool a lot for creating projects for clients, and I found it very useful for dressing up surfaces with objects. That's why I made this tool available, so you can use it for your own projects as well. And that is how you use the SurfaceScatter. For other questions on this tool, you can visit my Discord. This tool can be a quick and easy way in scatter surfaces for your own environment. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment below, letting me know how you'd use the SurfaceScatter in your own workflow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep shaping those worlds.